Have you ever thought you had a hornet's nest lurking somewhere in your attic only to find out it's something way more shocking? Hey everyone, Brad Williams here, and today I've got a wild story that'll totally change how you think about those creepy sounds and buzzing up in your roof space. Ready? Let's dive right in. So picture this. A guy starts hearing this constant buzzing and scratching coming from his attic. Naturally, he assumes it's a hornet's nest, the kind that sends shivers down your spine just thinking about getting stung. I mean, we've all heard the horror stories of those aggressive hornets, right? The first thing on anyone's mind would be how to get rid of the pests without ending up with a dozen stings. But here's where it gets juicy. He calls in an expert to take a look, expecting the usual spray and spray solution. But instead, when the expert climbs up there, their face goes completely pale, like they just saw a ghost. Now, that's a reaction you don't see every day. What could possibly be in that attic to cause such a reaction? Turns out it wasn't hornets at all. Nope. The attic was housing something way more bizarre and dangerous than a bunch of angry bugs. I won't give it all away immediately because I want to hear what you think this mysterious reveal might be. Go ahead, drop a comment right now with what your wildest guess would be. Do you think it was bats? Rats? Something even freakier? Stick around because the story only gets better from here. Alright, so after the expert's shock, it was revealed that the buzzing noise was actually a massive infestation of cicadas that had somehow gotten trapped and were dying upstairs. Now, cicadas aren't generally dangerous like hornets, but imagine thousands of those things trapped in a confined space, making a racket loud enough to be mistaken for a hornet's hive. And the smell, oh man, the smell when they start dying off is absolutely brutal. The homeowner had no idea that this insect concert was the real culprit, not the feared hornets. Crazy, right? It's a perfect example of how sometimes what we think we know just isn't the case, and nature has its own way of throwing curveballs. Now, beyond just being a strange bug story, this raises some interesting points about pest control and the importance of getting professionals involved when you think you've got a problem like this. Experts don't just spray and run, they investigate carefully, especially when the situation feels off or overly strange. You wouldn't want someone fumigating when your attic is actually filled with a totally different species that requires a different approach. Plus, there's always safety to consider because if it had been hornets, an untrained homeowner trying to tackle that nest could have ended up in the emergency room pretty quickly. And speaking of safety, here's a little PSA. If you ever hear buzzing or scratching sounds in your attic or walls, don't just assume it's one bug or another. It's always worth getting a detailed inspection, and I encourage you to share any weird noises or pest stories you've had in the comments. I love hearing about these wild experiences because it reminds me how unpredictable life can be and how humor is definitely a great way to cope with it. Also, since we're talking about attics and creepy critters, did you know that some infestations can actually damage your home's structure or electrical wiring? Yeah, not just a gross inconvenience, but a serious hazard. If you want me to dive into the top worst attic invaders and how to handle them without losing your cool, let me know below. I'm always down to explore topics that keep you safe and sound with a little humor on the side. Okay, I've got to ask, have you ever mistaken one pest for another? Maybe something way scarier than it really was? I mean, I once thought I had a raccoon stuck in my garage, but it turned out to be a really large stray cat. Totally different vibe. Share your funniest mistaken pest encounters in the comments. I'll definitely be reading through those and might even feature some in my next video. Before I let you go, if you enjoyed this story and want more unexpected twists and turns about bizarre household discoveries, I'd love it if you gave this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. I post new videos regularly where we dig into crazy real-life stories with a mix of laughs and facts. And don't forget to ring that bell icon so you never miss an upload, because who knows what other shocking reveals are waiting up in your attic? Alright friends, thanks for hanging out with me, Brad Williams. Stay curious, stay safe, and remember, Sometimes what you think is a hornet's nest could be something totally unexpected and way more fascinating. Catch you next time.